The CGT market is growing rapidly and is anticipated to continue to grow because it's a new driver in healthcare innovation. There has been a nationwide and even a global expansion because you have small incubator companies popping up, even large-scale manufacturing facilities everywhere. And this is because CGT provides and produces transformative solutions. So now there's more hope that's been created that long-standing diseases do have the possibility of having a cure.
When you think about the ability to treat a child, to cure its disease, and we're not talking about palliative care, making it completely vanish, or in hopefully the optimal scenario, treating before any symptoms ever develop, and thus the patient never ever sees any of the consequences of the genetic disease that they unfortunately were born with. You're curing not just that child, you're curing a family. That disease, if it were to progress, is going to affect everyone in that family, and to think that with one single dose, we can make it all go away, to me that's a miracle.
The market embracing these technologies is complex. It requires the discovery of the mechanism of action, that the gene that is impacted and correctable can be identified. The development of manufacturing is complex. Many different materials need to come together. And the testing, there are upwards of 30 or more individual tests required to really characterize and release a gene therapy product. And that's only more complicated with a cell-based therapy, which has additional steps.
We are developing assays and new technique every day, which requires a lot of intricate technologies. So all our contract laboratories are working with the cell therapy manufacturers and organizations to come up with the platform where they'll have a lot of equipments that will be used and that will fulfill the activity needed for the labs for the testing purposes.
We've taken very rudimentary processes that were developed in an academic setting and then tried to translate them into a fully compliant GMP setting. From a regulatory perspective, we're there, but in terms of optimizing it, in terms of cost effectiveness, I think there's some room for improvement there. And so, moving forward, I'm sure there'll be many more advancements in this area, to facilitate the therapies.
Development and manufacturing can be made simple if you have single-use, mass-produced, readily available consumables. It becomes a little bit more complex when you add in elements such as viral vectors, plasmids, small target population cells, and costly reagents that come in quantitatively small sizes. Cost, the availability of very expensive, very rare essentials to a process, all of those things are variables that can cause it to be a little bit more difficult.
The logistics are complex for cell therapies. For autologous therapies, vein-to-vein time is short, which further adds to this complexity. The journey begins with the collection of material at the clinical site, transported to the manufacturing site, where these cells are transformed into a living drug product, and ends with the distribution of this material to the clinical site. Implementation of end-to-end supply chain solutions is very important to ensure the quality of the product, chain of identity, and also on-time delivery of the patient cells to the clinic.
We're really at the cusp of actually translating that research now into viable products. There's only a handful of products that have made it all the way through clinical development and have been approved, but I expect that to considerably expand as we move forward in the coming years. We're just scratching the surface of what we can do with them, how to manufacture them cost effectively. And then once that happens, many, many more treatments, I think, are going to be amenable to using these novel technologies to treat them in the future.
We do follow the guidances from the umbrella of the regulatory, which is for the biologics. However, the cell therapy business is looking for something more pertaining towards only cell therapy because it's a different cell line and different development process throughout.
There is continuous updates in the guidance from the FDA, but again, there's a lot of willingness and flexibility on their behalf, to try to get these therapies to the clinic, to the patients, due to the fact that these are for treatments that there are no other therapies, and without them, many of these patients would die.
The industry is slowly moving from autologous to allogenic cell therapies. If the allogenic cell therapies become successful, even a couple of products makes it to market, this is going to further accelerate cell therapy industry. This is also going to pave a path for new modalities like iPSC-based cell therapies.
That is the new wave in CGT, is trying to get more allo products, but auto is still very useful, very productive, and doing very well.
Now we're at the cusp of the next generation, taking something like a virus and re-engineering it to deliver genes, to potentially tackle cancer, and I expect it to be the beginning and that many more things are to come.
These clinical materials, many of them are going to get out there into late stage and commercial. We know that these therapies are curative. There's still a lot to learn, thousands more diseases to address, but I just see it's a new kind of medicine that can be curative and to really address unmet needs that were not addressable by other kinds of technologies. So it's extraordinarily bright, and I'm looking forward to being part of that.